A student who is concerned for personal security of himself cannot learn. To learn, you must have a secured environment. A politician from Asia, another great man, Jean Bertrand Aristide, once said, of course, learning is strengthened and solidified when it occurs in a safe, secure, normal environment. On that note, it's important for us to know that our constitutional, moral, and professional responsibility to make sure that our schools are adequately protected, to protect our students, protect the staff, and of course, lecturers of all schools, primary, secondary, and tertiary institutions across the length and breadth of this country. Today, another history is being made as they're having the launching of this Safer School initiative, coming with the launching of the standard operating procedure. On this note, I would like to invite to this podium to give us his welcome speech, and of course, to lay the template for this event and our discussions we're going to have at this event today. Before I invite him, let me quickly remind this audience that this event is being covered and heard live on channels, television, and TVC. We need to take note of this. Join me, very senior officers, distinguished guests, and ladies and gentlemen, as I welcome to this podium the Deputy Inspector General Police in charge of operations, DIG Bode Adeyinka Adeleke MNI, to give us his welcome speech. Can we please appreciate him?
The special guest of honor, the Senate President, His Excellency Senator Godswill Akpabio, ably represented by Senator Ahmed Malam Maiduri, Chairman, Senate Committee, Police Affairs, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is with great honor and pleasure that I welcome you all to the Nigerian Police Strategic Forum on achieving safer schools in Nigeria and launching of the standard operation procedure for the School Protection Squad. This is a testament to the unwavering commitment of the Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Egbetoku, PhD, MPM, to provide a secure and enabling environment for education of our pupils in Nigeria, in line with the extant laws, and in exercising our statutory role of protection of lives and property. Today, the Nigerian Police has taken a significant step forward in safeguarding our educational institutions with this historic event. The special unit known as the Schools Protection Squad will be established in all states of the Federation, FCT inclusive, in line with the National Plan on Financing Safe Schools, with the following objectives. 1. Enhance the capacity of the police to gather intelligence, prevent and respond to attack on educational institutions, strengthen security resilience, and integrate host communities in the prevention and protection of our educational institutions. Enhance the school community's capacity to protect education and educational institutions. Create an effective and efficient national school security and emergency response infrastructure. Provision of assistance to survivors of attacks and education. However, the pilot phase of this intervention will focus on 18 most impacted states and FCT. They are namely Adamawa State, Borno State, Yobe State, Bauchi State, Niger State, Benue State, Katsina State, Kebbi State, Plateau State, Sokoto State, Zamfara State, Edo State, Delta State, Ekiti State, Ondo State, Imo State, Anambra State, and FCT. Implementation in other states of the Federation will be captured in the second phase of this intervention, starting from next year. The Safe School Program is a comprehensive and well-structured intervention designed to address all aspects of safety, including physical security measures, emergency preparedness, effective communication systems, and protocols for preventive measures. We'll be working in collaboration with our technical partners to provide state-of-the-art security systems, including surveillance cameras, access control system, and highly effective appliances that can function even in remote places without GSM network. In addition, we'll soon embark on rigorous and comprehensive training of key stakeholders. To foster a sense of community, collaboration, and cooperation, we will establish various student safety advisory committees comprising students, teachers, administrators, critical members of the host communities, including parents. The community will serve as a platform for open dialogue, knowledge sharing, and brainstorming where issues regarding safety will be addressed. In addition to this, we are committed to providing regular safety drills and awareness programs to equip stakeholders and students with the necessary knowledge and skills to respond appropriately in emergency situations. As we embark on this journey, let us remember that safety is not just a set of measures, but a culture that needs to be nurtured and ingrained in the fiber of our educational communities. In closing, I would like to express my gratitude to all those who have worked tirelessly in bringing this program to fruition. I would like to also welcome and encourage all the relevant security agencies and stakeholders to join hands with the police and implement this laudable project so that we can have the safe school environment we aspire to build. Together, we can create an environment where every student feels safe, protected, and valued. Thank you all as we embrace this new chapter of safety and security for our beloved children. Thank you.
We can do better for the JG operations. Oh, definitely will be saddled with the responsibility of adequate deployment of security operatives to protect our schools. Like you said, 18 pilot schools have been identified for adequate protection, and this project is going to be in phases. I want to quickly welcome to this event the Vice Chancellor, University of Abuja, who is going to talk to us. But before he comes forward to talk to us, we just want to welcome and recognize his presence, Professor Abdul Rashid Nahala. Can we please appreciate him? We have here Dr. Ebenezer Leo, representing the Director General, Nigeria Governors Forum. You are welcome, sir. Here again, we have our invited guests. Many of them are here. Mrs. Obandesai, Deputy Director, representing the Director, Education, Ministry of Defense. You are welcome. We have here Mrs. Flora Nago Gares. Pardon me if I don't pronounce that well. We see coming back to recognize other dignitaries we have here at this moment. Special guests, for non-invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, I want to invite to this podium someone who is going, of course I introduced earlier, the backbone of Safer School Initiative in Nigeria, who is a national coordinator financing safe schools. All of us, you agree with me that without funds, no project can fly. We are lucky to have this beautiful woman who has been having sleepless nights to make sure the federal government initiative of this kind becomes a success. Join me as I invite to this podium Hajia Alima Ilya for his our goodwill message. Can we please appreciate her? I think I'll continue to appreciate her when she gets to this podium. Thank you, Hajia.
The Inspector General of Police, Mr. Olukayode Egbitoku, kindly permit me to adopt the established protocol. I would like to share an insight of the national plan. As people keep mentioning national plan, I'm sure a lot of you do not really understand what we mean by the national plan on financing safe schools. I would like to seize this opportunity and take you through how we're able to develop the national plan. In recent times, the nation has been faced with challenges of incidents attack on our schools by extremists, bandits, and kidnappers. Hence, in 2014, the country experienced one of the first major attacks on FGC Boniyadi in Yobe State. And in April same year, there was another attack on Government Girls Secondary School Chibok in Borno State, where 276 girls were kidnapped. In addressing these concerns, the federal government launched the Safe Schools Initiative, which aimed to enable children affected by conflicts and insecurity to continue with their education unhindered. On the 31st December 2019, the federal government finally signed the Safe School Declaration ratification document, which has been endorsed by over 118 member countries, signaling Nigerians' commitment to its implementation. This commitment was followed by a high-level forum in April 2021, convened by the Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning in partnership with the Emergency Coordination Center on Financing Safe Schools in Nigeria to chart a way forward in addressing attacks on education. In the same vein, on 25th to 27 October 2021, Nigeria hosted the 4th International Conference on Safe School Declaration in Abuja. The summit was aimed to galvanize needed support for the declaration and to review progress in achieving the various commitments to protect schools and children from further attacks. During these engagements and many others, issues on financing safe schools were recurring to stakeholders. To address this concern on a holistic and sustainable basis by providing funding mechanism, in January 2022, the then Minister of Finance approved the setting up of the Financing Safe Schools Secretariat in Ministry of Finance. The unit is to coordinate and also plan the activities of safe schools. A technical committee or technical working group was constituted. Members were drawn from critical agencies, Ministry of Education, Nigerian Governors Forum, Nigerian Police Force, Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, Department of State Services, and Defense Headquarters, saddled with the responsibility to develop a national plan on financing safe schools. Subsequently, a national plan on financing safe schools was developed and was launched in December 2022. The national plan will be implemented between 2023 to 2026 with a total investment size of about 144.8 billion. To this end, the federal government has made adequate provision in the 2023 budget for 15 billion. Looking at the implementation strategy, the plan aims to cover 50% of the most at-risk public schools over the medium term. Implementation of the plan commenced in January 2023 with flag off of the Nigerian Security and Coordination Center by the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense, being the lead agency for the protection of schools and government critical assets. In line with the Federal Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning, for a national plan on financing safe schools in Nigeria, the Inspector General of Police, Mr. Kayode Egbitokun, sorry and pardon me, my brother, has taken a step towards actualizing the lofty objectives of the national plan on financing safe schools by launching strategic forum on the protection of schools and other learning places in Nigeria, and launching of the standing operating procedure. I must commend your efforts for taking us from commitment to reality. Please give him a round of applause. I'm actually wearing two caps as the National Coordinator on Financing Safe Schools and also the representative of the Permanent Secretary of Finance Special Duties, and I will seize the opportunity to give his goodwill message. It gives me immense pleasure to give this goodwill message as a special guest at the National Police Force Strategic Forum on the protection of schools and other learning places in Nigeria, and the launching of the standard operating procedure. This key component of the national plan for the financing safe schools is welcome development. The Nigerian Police Force, as one of the critical implementing agencies in the Safe Schools program, plays a pivotal lead role in ensuring that other learning environment is safe for our children to acquire much needed education that would better their lives. From the ministry's perspective, Quality education is a vital part of human capital development that galvanizes economic growth and development. Hence, we strongly believe that this strategic forum will create an avenue to relevant stakeholders in the spirit to brainstorm on innovative strategies that would lead to the achievement of the Safe Schools program goals. In the same vein, we cannot overemphasize the importance of the standard operating procedure, as it will result in the enhanced efficiency of the Nigerian police performance. We also look forward to seeing the Nigerian police force contributions to drive to achieving the overall objectives of the national plan. At this junction, I would like to seize this opportunity to urge all key implementing agencies, particularly the security agencies, to ensure that in line with carrying out their respective activities captured in the approved national plan, there is a need for synergy amongst them to actualize this national assignment. This will ensure the avoidance of duplication of roles and activities. As we are all aware, the country is saddled with a change of paucity of funds, hence the approved budget of the national plans, which totals to 144.8 billion. This financing gap can only be filled through funding from the private sector, development partners, philanthropists, and donor agencies, including the subnationals. The subnationals have a very vital role to play in terms of ensuring there is provision in the annual budget for the safe schools and for the subsequent years. However, these alternative funding sources can only be accessed when they see the seriousness of all critical implementing agencies in executing well-thought-through plans as captured in the National Plan on Financing Safe Schools. I wish us all a successful outing today as we contribute our quota to the national development. Thank you all, and thank you for listening.
Can we please appreciate Ajia once again? Thank you, Ajia. At this point in time, let me quickly recognize the presence of the representative of the Corps Marshal of the Federal Road Safety Corps. He's here represented by Populations Guru, my own boss, Assistant Corps Marshal Jonas Agu, MNI. You're welcome, sir. The DJ NYC, a very great stakeholder too, is ably represented here by Mrs. Grace Elabo, Deputy Director, Corps Welfare and Health Services. You're welcome, man. We want to recognize the presence of the leadership and, of course, Deputy Commandant General of Vigilante Group of Nigeria, Mr. Udoma James. You can see them on their uniform there. They have come to support this initiative. You are welcome. The representative of the chairman of the EFCC, Mr. Adebayo Adeniyi, from the Zonal Command Office in Abuja here. You are welcome. We have here in our midst members of diplomatic corps from various embassies. I'm sure they are partnering with the police too to achieve this goal. You are welcome once again. At this juncture, we're going to listen to a paper presentation. We are having a professor who doubles as the Vice Chancellor of University of Abuja, talking to us on attack on university, on experience and lessons to be learned. Join me as I invite to this podium Professor Abd Rashid Nahala to give us his presentation. You're welcome, sir.
The acting Inspector General of Police, the chairman of the Senate Committee on Police representing the President of Senate, distinguished officers of the police, Deputy Inspector Generals, Assistant Inspector Generals, and all the various ranks in the police services. All other services here present, paramilitary services, and the entire audience, ladies and gentlemen. I want to first and foremost congratulate the Acting Inspector General of Police. I remember we served together in Kwara State when I was the Vice Chancellor of Kwara State University. We had several meetings in your office as part of strategy for safety of the schools in Kwara, in particular the Kwara State University. Congratulations. The issue of non-state actor in our world is a reality. In Nigeria, we are feeling it so much that our schools are no longer safe. Almost everywhere you see attack, young people are kidnapped. My secondary school in Brene Auri recently, so many of young people were kidnapped. But even here in Abuja, we see the results. When I assumed as Vice Chancellor, one of the first things I did was to visit the Commissioner of Police of FCT, develop a robust plan, because without peace, without security, no learning can take place. My paper today is to share with you the experience of the University of Abuja and some of the thinking that we have. I know that there's not much time, so I'm going to just limit myself to some of this experience so that we don't spend too much time. The kidnap on University of Abuja, the experience and lessons to be learned. That is the topic of the paper. Paper presented at the Strategic National Forum on Protection of Schools and Other Learning Places in Nigeria, and the launching of the Schools Protection Squad and Standard Procedure Operation booklet organized by the Nigerian Police Force. May I ask you to please rise for a few moments of silence out of respect for the agony experienced by staff and children of University of Abuja who are brutally attacked and kidnapped on the early hours of the November day, and also in memory of so many young people that have been lost to kidnappers and brutal murderers Can we please stand up and have a minute of silence in their memory? Thank you very much. May God Almighty help to stop this calamity for our nation. Please sit down. I am deeply honored by the invitation extended to me to address you this morning. I regard the privilege of addressing you as imposing upon me two obligations. First, that of being brief. Second, that of saying such things only are calculated to merit the attention of men whose time is as precious as yours. For breach of the first obligation, I should be without excuse. But for the second, involves such difficulties that I must rely upon your forbearance if I fall short. Especially that I will attempt to give you the account of our own experience. At the early hours of Tuesday, 2nd November 2021, I received a distress call from my chief safety officer that our staff quarters at Giri were under attack by heavily unscrupulous armed men in their numbers. I was further informed that the Nigerian Police Force at Gogolara Division and the Nigerian Army of 176 Brigade of Guards were duly informed for reinforcement. There was a quick and gallant response from these two security agencies. However, after a 30-40 minutes of gun battles, the bandits withdrew, and it was realized, unfortunately, that some members of the university community were forcefully taken away by these bandits. I was okay. Thank you. To do justice to this topic, we'll look at this from three perspectives: the prior to attack, during the attack, and the post-attack. Prior to the attack. To be quite revealing, but not out of place to tell this gathering, that we were aware of the plan by these misguided elements to attack us. In other words, the university have a prior information on the imminent threats and possible attack to be carried out by the university, on the university by the bandits. Sometime in June 2021, we got a credible and actionable intelligence on the planned bandit attack on the university, with the intention of taking away some students for ransom and also to embarrass the government. Usually this attack is also to make a point, especially here in Abuja, the only federal university, is to tell the world that they could attack anywhere and give maximum embarrassment to government. This intelligence was duly shared with the relevant authorities. Unfortunately, the required necessary measures were not taken by the relevant security agencies. The information was treated with laxity. You see, because of our own experience, we constantly mobilized, and we are very close, very, very close to law enforcement. We share information regularly, and sometimes we give our own ideas and suggestions as academic people who think through, who try to mobilize and ensure that our own ideas are passed forward. But there was an error. Again, this is not here. I'm not here to apportion and blame. My main goal is to narrate some of the sequence of events that led to the kidnapping of our people, which was completely avoidable at that time. with the intention of learning lesson from it to forestall future reoccurrence in any of our learning institution. After all, we are all Nigerians, and we have to be frank to ourselves and talk about strategies to give us peace in our learning institution. When we realized that the high institutions were not fast, the security institutions were not fast coming, the university, through its security committee, which comprises the Nigerian Police Force, the Gogolada and Edo divisions, the NSCDC, the Nigerian Army 176 Brigade of Guards, and the DSS Gogolada have to take some necessary measures at our local levels to assist the internal security architecture to ensure safety of lives and property. We have a permanent security committee on campus. We meet very regularly, and all these individuals are there. Every time we meet to look at, to share information, to look at strategies, to plan, and constantly. So that committee got to action and took decisions that was far-reaching. Prior to the attack, therefore, we committed most of the limited security resources to main campus and mini campus and the medical clinic hostels where students reside, and also provided at least first line of defense in all our areas of responsibilities. In the University of Abuja, the University of Abuja Medical School is in Gogolada, and our students have clinical hostel, which we are always concerned about because we've been attacked there several times. So we committed some resources to those three areas. In July 2021, our internal intelligence personnel, in collaboration with DSS, had apprehended some gang of bandits. We actually caught them, we apprehended them. They were trying to come in, and our network and security alert, we apprehended them, and they confessed to planning to attack the university. And these individuals were handed over accordingly to the DSS. There are some notable sequence of events that took place before the unfortunate, ugly incident of 2nd November 2021. So when I tell you we know what was going on, we really knew what was going on because of our activities and our alertness and some of the recent experiences that we had. The event that happened before the attack must have shaped your minds, which I just narrated, and give you an insight of our vulnerability and predicaments. You'll agree with me that the criminals are not less intelligent than the security outfits, and they run their intelligence also diligently before carrying out any of their nefarious and deadly acts. If you think the attackers, the bandits, are not clever, are not intelligent, then you are mistaken. They are very, very, very brilliant. I mean, security of the 21st century has to be high-level intelligence. That is why University of Abuja, for example, we're starting a program, a PhD program in military studies, we call it. Our goal is to create that level of high-level thinking in ways that would develop our own solution in Nigeria to resolving some of these crises. Ladies and gentlemen, the bandits stormed the quarters in their numbers. About 40 of them or more, 40 or more, under the leadership of, I guess, a highly skilled person based on how the operation was carried out. They divided themselves into 3 groups, entered the quarters, the staff quarters, quietly through a bush path at the back, which is really open, is still there, unfortunately. From the southern part of the quarters, another group started firing from the northern part, which actually attracted attention of our internal safety personnel, who responded with their local den gun and immediately called for reinforcement. Both the army and police responded almost immediately, as I told you. During the attack continuing, the security forces kept chasing bandits that were firing guns from the northern part of the quarters, while the other group were operating quietly at the southern part. When alarm was raised from the southern part, the bandits quickly fled the quarters. But at that time, they had kidnapped our staff, 3 staff, 4 of their children, and 1 woman who is a wife of one of our renowned professors on campus. By the time the security agencies moved to the south to respond to the alarm raised, unfortunately, they had left. They had gone. The security operatives mobilized and followed immediately to rescue the captives. They met one of the kidnapped child, and the woman were released by the bandits. Suddenly, they decided to release 2 people, the wife of the professor and a child. But we understood clearly that it was deliberate to mislead the security operatives. They actually achieved this deliberate effort to mislead because we were indeed misled. The security operatives naturally asked the released persons the direction the bandits followed, which they showed, and the whole of the jungle was combed by security agencies, operatives, in an effort to rescue the person under captivity, but to no avail, as nobody was found. Naturally, the post-attack activities begin with a rescue mission where the combined teams of security operatives, in collaboration with our internal personnel, moved in search of the victims. The technical team of DSS were also deployed to assist in the rescue operation, which lasted for another 48 hours. It is worthy of mentioning that immediately the bandits released the woman and with the child among the people they kidnapped. They dispersed and left the victims with only a few people who crossed the road to the western parts of the quarter, where the search was going around the south and eastern parts of the quarters, which is a forest with high hill down to Kuje Area Council. So what they did was to divert us to this side, and they went this side. So we were busy chasing them, we were busy combing the whole place, but they had gone. And we were really diverted because all the effort was to a wrong direction. Surprisingly, they were detected by the technical team of the DSS to be hiding behind NNPC filling station at Giri. Alhamdulillah, on the 5th November 2021, they were successfully rescued through a highly classified operation that is beyond the clearance of public discussion. What I can say, ladies and gentlemen, is that there was a total collaboration and partnership between the university and the security agencies. We respected each other, we shared information, we agreed on issues and strategies, and we were one. We were one. High-level intelligentsia, everything came together, and we were very lucky, therefore, that we rescued the kidnapped people. The uniqueness about this rescue operation is that it is one of the most, if not the only, quickest rescue mission in any similar situation in Nigeria. Another peculiarity is that no kobo was paid as ransom to the bandits. We did not spend a kobo, and we rescued these people. I want to put on record our gratitude to security operation, from the Commissioner of Police to Director of DSS to everybody. We were alert, we were there physically, following, mobilizing, thinking with everybody, all of us. And I must say, we thank the security operatives for the gallantry and the high level of professionalism demonstrated during the rescue operation. Consequently to this development, the university has remained steadfast in using its limited resources, which could have been used for research and other academic development, in pursuing all loopholes in collaboration with relevant security agencies, including raiding established kidnappers' dens within the vicinity of the university. The truth is that we don't sleep anymore. We don't sleep. Our security strategies is always alert. And as recently as last month, we had encounters. I mean, we don't want students to know what is going on, because we don't know. Without that, they won't learn. We don't want academic staff to worry. We take up this challenge. We spend so much money ensuring this. This is money, as I said, that should have been going into research and academic endeavors. Conclusion. Without being modest, from the foregoing hints of our experience, one can safely conclude that the lessons to learn are apt and clear enough. For instance, the glaring need for relevant authorities to be more proactive in handling actionable intelligence. You cannot just sleep. You cannot think it will not happen. You cannot assume they will not do it or they will change their mind. Every options, every idea must be pursued to its logical conclusion. We need to do this. These are non-state actors. Nobody is going to, they are just there. And they have time. They can wait, they can sleep, they can do anything. But their target and strategies are usually very clear. However, given the recent development of bandits' invasion into the campuses of institutions of learning at will, and considering the enormous resources involved in setting up and maintaining appropriate security architecture, especially for a multi-campus university such as our own, there is an obvious need for support from government, looking at the institution's limited resources. Accordingly, I will appreciate if the NSA, the National Security Advisor to our President, could in his kind magnanimity cause the provision of special government intervention fund and resources to enable the university to keep up security in our institution. It's important. Any attack on the University of Abuja, believe me, is an embarrassment on our government. And more so when it leads to killing of people or it leads to terrible situation. It may be a permanent damage to which our students may not recover. That is why we cannot take this lightly. All the resources, all the equipment that we need, yes, some of them we have, but more must be provided. We cannot slip off in this danger that we live. And I want to commend the efforts now to produce materials that can continue to guide schools into strategies to make this happen. At the University of Abuja, we are ready to work with you. We are ready to provide you first-rate learning strategies, research strategies, We are ready to continue to do research in this area. We've just started a Center for Security and Legal Services right in the heart of Abuja to continue to think through how do we resolve this for our nation, in particular for our higher institution. Finally, I would like to greatly appreciate the organizers of this great event, which is more timely, and also thank you for finding me worthy to be part of this event. Once again, thank you. May God keep our high institutions safe. May God keep Nigeria safe. Thank you so much.
Let us appreciate our professor once again. You know, when some of us were growing up in schools, that time they go say no vernacular, don't speak vernacular. Now, my friend, what they call Wasiu, they said, tear a sheet of paper and do a short test. Wasiu no come to class. Very stubborn boy. He go carry Majid book, he tear him. Now Majid won't report, he don't know how to report. He come the talks, he cry, they point. Oga Wasiu. What is wrong with Wasiu? Oga Wasiu. What is it? Pointed to the book. Wasiu. Book. Ifro. You know the sound when you are tearing paper. That sound, he did not even know how to express the sound. Just Ifro. That's everything happen now. You don't know how to express himself. May the Lord help us. And to be a prof, you know it's not easy. In my language, they call them Ojogbon, which means somebody who is knowledgeable in all things. Can we please appreciate the Vice Chancellor once again? I'm sure with this initiative, we will not have many Majids in our schools again. Our children will be able to learn in a very conducive environment and be able to express themselves as expected of them. Quick one, we have the representative of the ICPC chairman, Professor Bolaji Owansonye here, represented by Mrs. Azuka Ogugwa, Deputy Director, Public Enlightenment of ICPC. And again, we have here the representative of the PAMSEC of our own Ministry of Police Affairs, represented by a one-line Juliet Isioma. If she's here, please let us appreciate our home ministry. Thanks for supporting us. We have here again Mr. Uche Onwama, the Deputy Director, representing the Director of Education Support Services, and PAMSEC, Ministry of Education. These are partners in progress for this project. Thank you, and God bless you. At this point in time, we have some messages of goodwill to take. And I think everybody coming for his goodwill message, we please spend just 2 minutes because of our time. Now I have the mandate or the directive of the national coordinator of this to invite Mrs. or Mr. Uche Onwama, the Deputy Director representing PAMSEC, Ministry of Education, to come and give us 2 minutes goodwill message. Can we appreciate? We are gender sensitive in what we do. So I think the women in the house should be able to appreciate your own. This is one of you again coming to talk to us. Actually, these are mothers who know how to do it better. Thank you, madam.
Good morning, sirs and ma'ams. Please, I beg to observe all protocols already laid out. Thank you very much. I'm here to just read the message from my permanent secretary. I read, "It is my pleasure to be a special guest on this special occasion of the Nigeria Police Force Strategic Forum on the protection of schools and other learning places, as well as launching of the Standard Operating Procedure, SOP. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, safety and security in schools is of paramount importance and necessary to support all-round development. And all-round development means effective cognitive and psychological state of the individual. And the all-round development will mean that of each of the child, giving him or her the opportunity to learn and achieve in a safe, nurturing environment. It is only learners who are at peace and feel safe that can learn, and only parents who feel that their children are safe at and on the way to school that will allow them to go to school. It also means that it is only teachers who feel safe and secure that can do their best to give and ensure good quality education to our children. In the world today, schools, universities, and other tertiary institutions have been bombed, burned, or destroyed, and children, students, teachers, and academics, as well as family members, have been abducted or arbitrarily detained, maimed, or even killed due to attacks on education. And across Nigeria, many schools have experienced attacks that have involved the burning of schools, break-ins, and vandalization of school properties by hoodlums, drug addicts, non-state armed groups, while some have been taken over and used for purposes other than learning, like IDP camps, isolation centers, and military camps, thereby displacing the learners and education. Many have died, while others are going through psychological trauma, and as a result, hundreds and thousands more have missed out on the right to education. These have resulted in low enrollment in schools and an increase in the number of out-of-school children. It is indeed an honor for me to appreciate security agencies, especially the Nigeria Police Force, for their great roles, for the great roles they have played and are still playing in keeping our schools safe and ensuring that learners and their teachers are safe. They have been with us every step of the way, even from the days of developing the Plan of Action 2018 to 2021 for mainstreaming Safe Schools Declaration in Nigeria. The sensitization of security agencies on Safe School Declaration, which is a global declaration that Nigeria signed on to in 2015 and ratified in 2019. The development of safe school documents like the National Policy for Safety, Security, and Violence-Free Schools, the minimum standards for safe schools in Nigeria, facilitators' guides for documents, as well as the teacher's guide and participants' manual on the protection of education from attacks, developed for security agencies and human rights institutions. The development of this last document was led by Ministry of Defense in collaboration with partners in Education and Emergency Working Group Nigeria. The teacher's guide and participants' manual were validated by Ministry of Defense headquarters. The manual highlights the roles that security agencies are to play in the protection of education according to the Safe School Declaration guidelines. It is hoped that these documents were taken into consideration while the Nigerian Police Force Standard Operation Procedure was developed. Distinguished officers and men, ladies and gentlemen, it is important to stress here that collaboration is key to a successful implementation of safe school guidelines in our schools, as well as in implementation of the National Plan for Safe Schools. Federal Ministry of Education, in her mandate of formulating educational policies and maintenance of educational standards, among other things, is ready, very ready, to collaborate with the Nigerian Police Force in this bid to secure our schools and ensure that education continues in safe and secure environments. We wish you great success in this national assignment. Thank you very much for listening. God bless you.
We can do better for Madam Miguel. This point in time, let me quickly recognize the presence of Dr. Bisi Isirosho. He's from Safe School in Lagos. representing Senator Wasiu Eshinlokun. Is there with us? Can we please appreciate him? We have the rep of the DG NIA here, represented by Mr. JJ Kimsa. And of course, the representative of the Commandant General, NSCDC, Dr. Ahmed Haudi PhD, is here represented by ACG. The name is missing here, sorry. But I'm going to call you again to do that recognition. We are going to take another goodwill message from the Director DSS, DG DSS, who is ably represented by Dr. Yusuf Mohammed. Dr. Yusuf Mohammed, representing DG DSS, please come for your short goodwill message. Can we please appreciate him? Thank you. Welcome.
The Senate President, aptly represented here, the representative of the NSA, the acting IGP, permit me to stand on the existing protocol. The DG is unavoidably absent here, but he sends his goodwill message. The service's responsibility is to provide actionable intelligence for the protection of our schools and learning environments. I thank God before I come in, the VC, University of Abuja, shared his experience and the role the service played. We are committed to having more robust partnership under the leadership of the Nigerian police. The unveiling of the SOP will not have come earlier than now. This is the best time for it now. Sharing the experience of the VC, the collaboration was there, but now with the SOP, everybody knows what to do, when to do, and how to go about it. But the previous experience, agencies do come together to passion out how to go about it. But now it's been spelled out. Luckily, the DIG operations mentioned that this will be in various states. And with the presence of the vigilante, Amatekun, and the rest of our sister agencies, most of the issues being experienced in the field is lack of the knowledge of the terrain. But in collaboration with the vigilante, I think it has to be the story of the past. The DG was to convey his goodwill message and give assurance of effective intelligence as when due. Thank you very much.
Thank you, the DJ DSS. Now I have the singular honor to recognize the presence of the representative of the Executive Governor of Kaduna State, His Excellency Governor Uba Sani is here represented by Alhaji Sani Kila, MFR. Can we please appreciate him? Thank you so much. Now we're going to listen to the representative of the Commandant General of NSCDC. Is here heavily represented by ACG Austin Obiekwe. Is the head of Agro Rangers Department of NSCDC for goodwill message. The ACG, sir.
The Senate President, represented by the Chairman Committee on Police Affairs, the Chief Host, Acting IGP of Police, the Standing National Chief Host. I'm referring to Hajia Halima, the National Coordinator. Please permit me to go on the existing protocol. The Commandant General, Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, sends his goodwill and warm felicitation for today's event. He is delighted that today it's made possible by Nigeria's Security and Civil Defense Corps. And he has asked me to specifically convey his appreciation for the continuous partnership and support which the acting IGP, his office, has continually extended to Nigeria's Security and Civil Defense Corps through the Center for Nigeria National Safe School Safety Response Coordination Center, which is located at Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps headquarters at Soka. The IGP has sent 2 resourceful officers who have been making contributions, and the present commander of the center makes regular commendation about their contribution at the center. Please, we give thumbs up for them and we commend their contributions. Thank you. I also want to talk about the fact that that center has brought in the Nigerian military, the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, the police, DIS, DIA, DSS, and which to us it's synergy at work. As the host of the center, the National Safe School Response Coordination Center, the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps has been making regular effort at trying to sensitize the grassroots at state and local government level towards setting up more response centers, all for the sake of providing safe learning environment for our pupils, our students, our children. I want to once again appreciate the IGP for this loud and laudable effort in the launch of this standard operating procedure and the squad for the protection of school environment. I want to say that this gesture, it's a big booster. Is a big booster to the existing center, the Safe School Response Center, which exists at Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps. Is a big booster. It's a big encouragement to providing safe learning environment for the future of our children, for the future of our pupils and students. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you, sir. Can we please appreciate him once again? At this point in time, we are moving to the armed forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I've been instructed to invite our service chiefs to be led by the CDS to give their goodwill messages. And I think I'm calling them one by one. I will start with the CDS General Christopher Musa, who is ably represented here by Vice Marshal A.V. Ndachi for his goodwill message.
The special guest of honor for today's occasion, Senator Godswill Akpabio, ably represented by Senator Abdul Hamid. Our chief host, the Acting Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun. The National Security Advisor, ably represented by General A.M. Diko, retired. All other protocols respectfully observed. I am Air Vice Marshal A.V. Ndachi, representing the Chief of Defense Staff, General C.G. Musa, who is unavoidably absent here. He planned coming personally, but other national issues came up this morning. This morning, I'll be reading his goodwill message. So when I say I'm basically speaking on behalf of the CDS. It is with great pleasure that I stand before you this morning as a special guest at this important forum, which is on the protection of schools and other learning places in Nigeria. The abduction of Chibok schoolgirls on the 14th of April 2014 set pace for numerous mass abductions of school children, and this has led to the national and global responses that followed the action. Thus, the federal government of Nigeria launched the Safe School Initiative in May 2014 to enable children affected by conflict and insecurity continue with their education unhindered. This followed the Safe School Declaration development at the international conference held in Oslo, Norway in May 2015. Currently, many children are out of school due to attacks on schools by criminals and terrorists. The spate of these attacks on schools and the mass kidnapping of school children presented a grave threat to the nation's educational system. The resolve by criminals and terrorists to target schools across the country with the sole aim of destabilizing the Nigerian educational system calls for proactive steps to be taken to stem the tide. It is therefore apt that the Inspector General of Police finds it necessary to invite relevant stakeholders to the forum to ensure cooperation and collaboration to create a safer and more secure teaching and learning environment for school children across the country. I will therefore call on all relevant stakeholders to play their roles in ensuring safe education for our children. On our own part, I promise that the Armed Forces of Nigeria is readily available to support the Nigerian police force in this good and worthy endeavor. On this occasion, let me express my gratitude to the Inspector General of Police and other PSOs of the police force for this initiative. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to the dedicated team of the Nigerian police force who work tirelessly to ensure that this program is a success. It is my sincere hope that other security agencies and key ministries, departments, and agencies would support the Nigerian police force in ensuring that schools across the country are safe for learning. Once more, thank you and God bless.
We can do better for the CDS. Before now, I used to say you've heard from the horse's mouth. Until a day, a very senior police officer cautioned me that it's not a horse. So you heard directly from the CDS, not from a horse. I appreciate the CDS once again. Thank you, the CDS, for calling all agencies to support the initiative and make it a success. At this point in time, I'm going to call on the representative of the Chief of Army Staff. Is here represented by Brigadier General Gio Esho for his goodwill message.
The special guest of honor, ably represented, our chief host, the Inspector General of Police, the National Security Advisor, ably represented by General Diko, retired, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I am Brigadier General G.O. Esho, representing the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General T.A. Lagbaja. And now to the goodwill message from Lieutenant General T.A. Lagbaja. It is with great delight that I wish to join numerous well-wishers to congratulate the Inspector General of Police on this laudable initiative to host a strategic forum on one of the key security issues facing our dear country, Nigeria. The Nigerian police is known for its reputation as the first respondent in ensuring public order and safety. In this regard, this strategic national forum on the protection of schools and other learning places in Nigeria, and also the launching of the standard operating procedure. The theme is indeed topical enough to elicit veritable solutions from the participants. I therefore enjoin all participants to make meaningful as well as actionable contributions towards making this forum a success. I commend the efforts of the Inspector General of Police in peace and capacity building for security and defense practitioners. The Nigerian Army appreciates your continued partnership and collaboration in ensuring that workable solutions to the security challenges faced by the country are being achieved. I assure you of the Nigerian Army's willingness for sustained partnership to enhance our national security and development. Congratulations once again on this laudable initiative. I wish you a successful and rewarding deliberation in the course of this forum. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, the Chief of Army Staff. Now, we want to listen to the Chief of Naval Staff, who is represented here by Commodore S.M. Ahmed. Can we please appreciate him?
The special guest of honor, ably represented, our chief host, the representative of the National Security Advisor. I am Commodore S.M. Ahmed, representing the Chief of the Naval Staff. So I am going to read his goodwill message. It is my earnest pleasure to be here to be with you this morning on this occasion of one-day conference of the Nigerian Police Force Strategic Forum on the protection of schools and other learning places in Nigeria. And of course, the launching of the standard operating procedure. I must sincerely thank the leadership of the Nigerian Police Force, particularly the Acting Inspector General Police and the Deputy Inspector General Police in charge of operations, for inviting me to this special event to address the current threats we face in our collective fight against security. It is a known fact that threats against our school and learning places are evolving into dimensions that threaten national security of our dear nation, particularly in our climate, where technology remains a developing stage. The adverse effect of these evolving crimes have far-reaching consequences, not just on the occasional development of our children, but even to the socio, cultural, and psychological coexistence of our children. Therefore, the idea to birth this strategic forum is a good initiative. And I commend Nigerian Police Force for taking this initiative to discuss these menaces with a view to providing actionable solution. As the term is coined, it is evident that the dimension of threats against our school is multifaceted. Expectedly, the approach to tackling it should consequently involve the pooling of expertise from key stakeholders, both within private and public sector, without leaving behind the enormous of the roles of research institution. Accordingly, I strongly believe that the collaborative efforts of the Nigerian police and other key institutions will yield an in-depth solution viable enough to address the statement of the problem. Let me at this juncture reiterate that the Nigerian Navy is not isolated from the same threat as welfare schools and institutions are not left out of this threat. Nonetheless, I am proud to assert that the Nigerian Navy, under the leadership of the current Chief of the Naval Staff, is poised to collaborate with relevant stakeholders to drastically reduce the activities of these criminal elements. The partnering approach, as well as interagency cooperation between the Nigerian police and other stakeholders, underscores the multidimensional approach to this existential threat and the need for agency of government to play a key role to partner in the fight to curb these menaces. On the final note, permit me to use this opportunity to once again acknowledge the organizers of this event for orchestrating this event, promoting adequate partnership towards addressing the threats through a collaborative effort, mental stability, peace of mind, and in our learning places. May I further reassure you that the Nigerian Navy will continue to identify with the aspiration of the Nigerian police where possible, partner with your organization, and in the performance of its constitutional role. Once again, I sincerely express my profound gratitude for inviting me to this auspicious event. Once again, thank you and God bless.
Thank you. Can we appreciate the Chief of Naval Staff once again? Thank you so much. Let me quickly recognize the presence of Director overseeing the Office of the Permanent Secretary, Police Affairs, Mrs. Ibilola Edemaya is there in the house. Please appreciate her. Welcome, madam. And let me say again, welcome to this event, all Assistant Inspectors General of Police from our zones and formations across the country that are here seated, and all the commissioners of police from commands and formations that have been invited to this place. The IG personally invited them to this event, and they are all seated, the IGP, sir. The hall is filled with our very senior officers and strategic managers of Nigeria Police Force who are going to implement this policy. Can we please appreciate these senior police officers who are here in our midst? Thank you, and God bless you. At this point in time, we want to listen to the chief host, the 22nd Indigenous Inspector General of Police, Federal Republic of Nigeria, my own IGP, your IGP, and of course, the IGP of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, acting IGP Olukayode Adeolu Egbetokun, PhD and holder Nigeria Police Medal. So please come and address this noble gathering. Can we please appreciate him as he comes forward to address this noble gathering this morning? I always say my IGP has big deal in peace and security studies, and you know what it means. And of course, he has BSc in mathematics. The IGP, sir.
Thank you. The special guest of honor, the Senate President, His Excellency, Senator Godswill Akpabio, ably represented by Senator Ahmed Malam Maduri, Chairman, Senate Committee on Police Affairs, the Governor of Nasarawa State, Engineer Abdullahi Sule, Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Kaduna State, His Excellency Senator Uba Sani, ably represented by Alhaji Sani Kila, the Chief of Staff, Kaduna State Government, the Chief Judge of the Federation, ably represented by the Deputy Chief Registrar, Federal High Court, Pius Joshua, the National Security Advisor, Malam Nuhu Ribadu, ably represented by Major General A.M. Diko retired, our keynote speaker, Professor Abdul Rashid Naala. Thank you for your presentation this afternoon. The Chief of Defense Staff, ably represented, service chiefs here present, ably represented, members of the Force Management Team, the DIGs, heads of other security agencies here represented, permanent secretaries here present and represented, members of the diplomatic community, the National Coordinator on Financing Safe Schools, Ajia Halima Ilya, thank you for your commitment. Other stakeholders here present and represented, members of the vibrant Nigerian press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is with great sense of responsibility that I welcome you all to this event. The Standard Operating Procedure Manual on Safe School Initiative, which we are launching today, marks a significant stride towards achieving a safer and more secure educational environment for our children. The SOP is a comprehensive roadmap that underscores our commitment to safeguarding our nation's future by creating a secure, safe, and conducive learning environment for our students. In the years past, the schools used to be the safest place for our children. The schools are still safe, but since the country recorded the first incidents of school kidnapping in April 2014, criminal elements such as kidnapping, criminal activities such as kidnapping for ransom, banditry, terrorism, and cultism have continued to threaten the security of our educational institutions, as well as the safety of our school children. These challenges demand innovative, adaptive, and sustainable approaches to ensure the efficacy of our efforts at ensuring the safety of all and sundry, particularly our young ones. The new approach, in line with our vision to evolve a police force that is well positioned to respond appropriately and adequately to the dynamics of crimes and criminality in our contemporary society. Our commitment to safeguarding our schools and ensuring the unhindered pursuit of knowledge has led to the creation of this crucial manual. This manual outlines the meticulous procedures that will guide our law enforcement agencies, educational institutions, and communities towards a shared goal of safe and secure learning spaces. The Nigerian Police Force, along with other stakeholders, has played an instrumental role in charting this roadmap to achieve the objectives of the National Plan on Safe Schools in Nigeria. One of the cornerstones of our commitment is the establishment of the School Protection Squad. This specialized unit comprises highly trained officers who will be deployed to every state across the country. These officers are not just protectors, they are mentors, role models, and advocates for the safety of our students. Their presence will serve as a deterrent to potential threats and a source of reassurance for both students, teachers, and their families. In line with our action plan, the Safe School Initiative will kickstart in 18 most vulnerable pilot states, as well as the Federal Capital Territory. In order to realize this objective, the Nigerian Police Force, in close collaboration with pertinent security agencies and key stakeholders, will employ a comprehensive approach encompassing preventive, detective, and managerial strategies to effectively address the prevailing threat of attacks on educational institutions. This encompasses a diverse range of measures, which include, but not restricted to, generation of information and development of intelligence, community policing partnerships, police-public cooperation, interagency cooperation, security and administration of internally displaced persons IDPs, deployment of logistics assets, humanitarian services, as well as training for school managers, teachers, and members of the host communities on their effective roles in emergency situations are key to these initiatives. This deliberate approach ensures that we allocate our resources where they are most needed. And through these pilot programs, we will refine our strategies and procedures to create a blueprint for success that can be replicated nationwide. Undoubtedly, we will face challenges, but we will not wither in our determinations. Our strategies have been carefully developed to tackle these challenges. However, it is important to recognize that ensuring safe schools is not a responsibility that falls solely on the shoulders of law enforcement agencies. It requires a holistic approach with the active involvement of school administrators, teachers, students, and the wider community. The police will diligently undertake the responsibility of safeguarding educational institutions against potential harms, threats, or any undesirable occurrences. This commitment will be particularly focused on addressing a spectrum of challenges, including but not limited to threats to the physical environment, instances of human rights violations, occurrences of social discrimination, matters concerning cyber safety, the proliferation of cult activities, incidents of child abduction and theft, the grave issue of kidnapping, the alarming prospect of hostage taking, the menace of terrorism, the peril of criminal bombings, and the specter of other violent attacks. Our dedication to addressing these multifaceted concerns underscores our unwavering commitment to fostering a safe and secure learning environment for all our students. School administrators play a pivotal role in setting the tone for security within the institutions. Their commitment to implementing safety protocols and fostering a culture of vigilance is instrumental. Likewise, our educators, the teachers, are not only imparting knowledge, but also acting as first responders in times of crisis. Their training and preparedness are critical in ensuring a swift and effective response. Let us all acknowledge the resilience of our students who are the heart of this initiative. Their understanding of safety protocols and their ability to maintain calm under pressure are essential components of our efforts. By empowering our students with knowledge, we empower them to be active participants in their own safety. Furthermore, the wider community has a crucial role to play. Our neighbors, parents, local leaders, and businesses are all stakeholders in this endeavor. We must foster a sense of collective responsibility, where the safety of our schools becomes a shared priority. While I earnestly appeal to all and sundry to support the federal government's initiative by cooperating with the Nigerian police and other security agencies, including relevant stakeholders, I would like to seize this opportunity to express my appreciation to the Federal Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning, and other partners such as the Ministry of Education and Special Duties for their commendable roles in initiating and skillfully coordinating the Financing Safe Schools National Plan. This visionary initiative has provided the essential framework that underpins the undertaking we are launching today. Let me state clearly that the launch of the Standard Operating Procedure Manual for the National Plan on the Safe School Initiative is a testament to our dedication, collaboration, and unwavering commitment to secure learning environments for our children. Together, we are charting a path towards safer schools, stronger communities, and a brighter future for our nation. As we launch the Standard Operating Procedure Manual for the National Plan on Safe Schools in Nigeria today, we must recognize the urgency to devise new means of tackling these evolving threats. The manual is not merely a document, it is a testament to our commitment to facing these challenges head-on and developing strategies that are robust, flexible, and capable of adapting to the ever-changing landscape of crime and security concerns. By embracing innovation and fostering cooperation among all stakeholders, we can collectively overcome these obstacles and create an environment in which our children can pursue their education without fear or hindrance. I call on everyone to join hands with us in this effort. I believe together we will achieve our shared goal of safe and secure schools for our children. Thank you, and God bless you all.
I think we can do better for the Inspector General of Police. This is very, very wonderful. Like I said earlier on, that you know how it is when you deal with a mathematician. This is a course that many of us always run away from when we are younger. When they mention some almighty formula, ANOVA, analysis of variance, or Kolmogorov theory, you will run away. When they say exam don't come, you will run. You will tell them, say, you dey sick. Even if you know sick before, you go form sickness, sharp. Because that take and scatter person head. But somebody has BSc in mathematics, many master's degrees, and of course, crown it all with a PhD in peace and security studies. Can we please appreciate the IGP once again? Thank you, the IGP, for providing the path of professionalism we are following in Nigeria Police Force. Some of us will learn from you. Definitely we embrace your policies, which you are going to implement as your foot soldiers to reform the police in order to attain its primacy as a lead agency when it comes to internal security of this country. Thank you, the IGP. At this point in time, we want to listen to the man who coordinates security architecture of this country. Somebody who was once in police circle, but now with a bigger status as the National Security Advisor of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Join me, very senior officer, the singular gentlemen, as I invite to the podium the National Security Advisor, Malam Nuhu Ribadu, who is ably represented by Major General A.M. Diko, retired. He is a National Coordinator for Small Arms and Light Weapons in the office of the NSA, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Can we please appreciate General Diko?
I thought I was going to be crowned as Malam Nuhu Ribadu himself, but I thank God in the latter part he quickly identified his representative. My name's Major General Abba Mohammed Diko, and as he has rightly said, the National Coordinator for the National Center for the Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons, an agency that has enjoyed tremendous support from the Nigerian Police Force, and I want to say a very big thank you for standing by us to rid the nation of illicit weapons in circulation. This address is going to be delivered on behalf of the National Security Advisor, one of your own, who is a product of the Nigerian Police constituency and who, by the grace of God today, sits in a bigger environment where he has been saddled with the responsibility to coordinate the national security architecture. The Senate President, who is the special guest of honor, ably represented by the chairman, the new chairman, Senate Committee on Police Affairs, Senator Abdul Hamid Ahmed Malam Maduri, distinguished Senator sir, the chief host of this important occasion and the custodian of this initiative, the one and only mathematician in the hall who I believe will deploy his formulas in order to circumvent all challenges that we shall be having in our schools environment and perhaps the citizens at large. The acting IGP, Kayode Ebetokun. It's a pleasure. May I therefore stand
on the already established protocols, not forgetting to identify Hajia Halima Ilya, who is also a key stakeholder in this particular initiative, and the speech. It is my singular honor and privilege to stand before this august gathering on behalf of the National Security Advisor, Malam Nuhu Ribadu, who is unavoidably absent due to other pressing national assignments. Permit me to respectfully commend the effort of the IGP for putting together this all-important strategic workshop themed Imperative for a Safer Teaching and Learning Environment for the Future of Nigeria's National Development, the need for national collective action, which is basically aimed at strengthening collaboration and synergy among critical security and law enforcement stakeholders towards addressing the security vulnerabilities of schools and other learning centers across the country. Undoubtedly, education has always been the cornerstone of progress in any society. And as we strive to build a prosperous country for the future of our children and the generation yet unborn, it is critical that we prioritize the safety and security of our educational institutions at all levels. Furthermore, education is not only about acquiring knowledge and skills. It is about fostering a nurturing environment that encourages creativity, critical thinking, and personal growth. However, you will agree with me that over the years, our educational institutions have been plagued by numerous security challenges, prominent among which include mass kidnapping of students, abduction and senseless killing of school teachers, as well as vandalization of educational infrastructure by terrorists, bandits, and other criminal groups. The foregoing has indeed impacted negatively on school enrollment, especially among the girl child, across the northern region, and further hindered the full realization of our collective vision of optimizing education as a catalyst for national human capital development. It is in recognition of the above that the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, pledged to work with both state and local government authorities to reform and retool the nation's educational system by giving special attention to security of our schools, welfare and training of teachers and students. It is pertinent to note that by fostering a safe and nurturing educational environment, we can lay the foundation for a prosperous future where every Nigerian child has the opportunity to reach their full potential. Let me also use this medium to reiterate the unambiguous directives of Mr. President on the utmost importance of collaboration and synergy in the areas of intelligence and information sharing at both strategic and tactical levels towards mitigating the myriad of security challenges across the country. Consequently, I urge the Nigerian police to synergize with relevant security and law enforcement agencies, including other critical stakeholders, towards ensuring the success of this noble objective. Lastly, I wish all participants a fruitful deliberation, please. Thank you most sincerely.
Thank you, sir. That is the National Security Advisor. I think you can appreciate him once again. Malam Nuhu Ribadu, represented by Brigadier General A.M. Diko. The Ogawa you see, now they mop up all wrong arms in wrong hands across the country. I only not know where Oga they keep all those arms. So you get one time where you carry more than 2 trailers of all those arms, illegal arms that we recovered across the country. Oga, thank you for that thing what you did do. God will help you to do more. To carry arms, wrong arms. There's some places we are working. Just yesterday, I gave marching order to CPs and AIGs that they should continue to mop up. We'll soon invite you. You know, the other time now almost 3,000 arms to carry. This time around, we promise you almost 5,000 arms that we have recovered. You are going to give to you and go and keep and destroy. Thank you, sir. God bless you. We are getting to the end of this program gradually. We want to listen to our governors. They all have a voice here. And you know they are so critical to the success of this initiative. I want to invite to this podium the representative of all the governors in Nigeria, and of course, the DG, Nigeria Governors Forum, Dr. Ebenezer Leo, to please come and address this wonderful gathering this morning. Can we please, he's the only one, is 36 governors, they come, so making a clap until 36 claps. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. My name is Dr. Leo, Head of Education at the Secretariat of the Nigerian Governors Forum. I'm representing both the Chairman of the Governors Forum and the Director General at the Secretariat. So I'm going to present a brief remark from the Director General of the Secretariat of the Nigerian Governors Forum. His Excellency, the Senate President, ably represented, the Inspector General of Police. Again, I have to stand on the existing protocol. I want to thank the Nigerian Police Forum on Achieving Safer Schools in Nigeria for launching this standard operating procedure manual. I also want to use this opportunity to thank the Federal Ministry of Finance for providing the funding strategy in financing safe school initiative in this country. The same juncture, I have to also thank the Federal Ministry of Education for developing the national policy on safe school in Nigeria through Safe School Declaration in Nigeria. In fact, the former president, His Excellency President Muhammad Buhari, declared the Safe School initiative in the country with the Safe School Declaration. We appreciate the efforts of security agencies in achieving safety of schools in the country, because safety of school in the country is very critical to what we do in the school system. The Governors Forum, as the administrative and technical secretariat of the subnational governments in Nigerian Federation, is very instrumental, in fact, was really instrumental in the development of the implementation strategy of the safety of schools initiative in the country. Because the role of the state governors, the state government vis-a-vis the federal government is very, very critical when it has to do with schools, because most of the schools are domiciled in the states. And I'm very pleased to see senior police officers in our midst today, because they will be interfacing with the governors in their respective states to ensure safety of schools in our respective schools, both at the basic, senior secondary, and tertiary institutions. I bring you the commitment of subnational governments in the implementation of school safety initiative across the Federation. At every point in time in the implementation stage, we have adequately briefed their excellencies, and at this stage that will be moving from one state to the other in the first initial stage of 18 states, and we have also been able to interface with them to see the need and the importance of making adequate provisions. So adequate budgetary provisions will be made to support efforts of governments in the security of schools, in the provision of quality education in the country, education being very critical to Nigerian socio-economic development. Quality education is only possible when there is security in the school environment and in the host communities. And that is why the governors will made commitments to ensure that there is adequate funding to complement the efforts of the federal government in ensuring that the schools are secured in order for our kids to have quality education in the country. So we at the secretariats, on behalf of the governors, encourage a strong synergy among security agencies to ensure school safety with both the kinetic and non-kinetic measures. The Nigerian Governors Forum will partner with the Nigerian Police Force and other security agencies in the protection of the learners, the teachers, the school environments, the host communities to ensure the safety of our children in the school system. I also want to add that with the synergy of the security agencies, the Nigerian Police, the Nigerian Security Defense Corps, and other sister agencies, and with the presence of senior police officers here, we will always provide a platform for the Inspector General of Police and all security agencies to directly interface with all 36 state governors at the Secretariat in their monthly meetings. So whenever there is any letter to that effect, we'll make sure that these security agencies have the opportunity to present whatever they are doing and have very strong and wonderful synergy to ensure school safety and the security of lives and property across the Federation. Thank you very much.
Can do better for him. Thank you so much. Quick one, we want to recognize the presence of the National Chairman PCLC, Mogaji Olaniyan is there in our midst. And of course, Mr. Steve Olu, our technical partner, and the CEO Police VGS, and his team all the way from Germany. They are all here to grace this occasion. Thank you and God bless you. I appreciate the media. All of them are here, many of them are here. And of course, my own people, police band, they have been giving us music. God bless you all, police band. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. At this point in time, we want to invite the President of the Nigerian Senate and Chairman of the National Assembly of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Senator Godswill Akpabio, who is ably represented here by the Chairman Senate Committee on Police Affairs, our own ambassador. Can we please appreciate him for his speech and, of course, to unveil the SOP? Thank you.
Thank you. Our amiable Acting Inspector General of Police, representative of the National Security Advisor, representative of service chiefs, men and women in uniform, ladies and gentlemen. What I'm going to read is the speech of His Excellency, President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio. I read, ladies and gentlemen, I am honored to attend this auspicious event this morning as I embark on this strategic journey to protect schools and other learning places in Nigeria, and in addition to the launching of your standard operating system, SOP. It is heartwarming to note that the Nigerian police force is thinking differently and developing strategies to secure schools in our country. For me and my colleagues in the Senate, it is worthy and highly commendable exercise. Indeed, our country has come a long way in the quest for sustainable, improved pro-citizens policing. However, the journey ahead is much more tasking than the past accomplishments. We have miles to cover in the area of policing, and this demand that all hands must be on deck to give Nigerians a true sense of safety and peace as they engage in their daily activities. Sadly, our national effort to ensure a secure environment for national development has been hampered by emerging threat to our collective security. The worst hit is the security of schools, where our children go to learn and are prepared for the next phase of their lives. There is no gainsaying that we need and must make our schools secure for learning. Our children must not be lost to the insecurity created by persons who are no need for all of us to live and learn in peace. We must not let them win. To achieve success in this area, we must deploy strategies that guarantees optimal safety for all our learning institutions in Nigeria. It is for this reason that the National Assembly, which I chair, is open to dialogue with the police and other security agencies